It is common for criminals to cover their tracks following their crimes, but Larry Gene Bell was different. He made it a point to communicate with the families of his victims. Today, we explore a notorious case from South Carolina involving Bell and how he tormented the families of his victims. On May 31st, 1985, Shari Smith attended a party with friends. It was the last time she was seen alive. Shari usually checked the mail upon returning home. She was abducted from her mailbox in Lexington County. Noticing her car lingering at the mailbox longer than usual, her father went to check. The driver's side door was open, and footprints led away but not back. They called the police and reported her missing. Initially thought to be a runaway, her parents convinced law enforcement otherwise. Shari was to sing the national anthem at her high school graduation and had a summer trip planned with friends. She also had a rare form of diabetes, requiring constant medication. Her purse and medicine were left in the car. She was barefoot, her shoes also found in the vehicle, making it unlikely she had run away. The search began immediately and lasted 3 days without success. On the 3rd day, a strange man called Shari's mother, Hilda Smith. He described what Shari was wearing and told her to expect a letter between 1 o'clock and 2 p.m., an unusual time for mail. The letter, he said, would be dated June 1st. The call was traced to a public phone 12 miles away from their home. No fingerprints were found, but the letter was retrieved from the post office. Written on yellow paper in Shari's handwriting, it was dated June 1st at 3:10 a.m. and titled, Last Will and Testament. Shari expressed her love for her family and friends, asked for forgiveness, and asked them not to grieve for her because God had forgiven her. She included a Bible quote. The letter alarmed both her family and investigators. They considered it cruel to have her write a farewell letter. Hours after the letter's arrival, the man called again, and this time the call was traced to a phone in a mall 5 miles away. 5 days later, the kidnapper called again, speaking with Hilda and Shari's 21-year-old sister, Dawn. The next day, he called again and directed them to Shari's location. Police found Shari's body. She was 17 at the time of her death. Examination revealed she had been killed elsewhere and her body moved. She had died 2 days prior, likely from suffocation, though her diabetes suggested a lack of water and medication could have also been a factor. The next day, the man called again, speaking to Dawn, claiming he never intended to kill Shari but things had gotten out of control. He said Shari died peacefully, knowing she'd become an angel, and apologized, asking for forgiveness. He claimed Shari chose to suffocate and described placing a plastic bag over her head, sealing it with duct tape. The killer attended Shari's funeral on June 8 and called afterward, saying she chose the time of her death, 4:58 a.m., 12 hours after her abduction. On June 14, 2 weeks later, 9-year-old Debra May Helmick was abducted while playing with her brother. The police, led by FBI profilers, suspected the same killer. After 8 days, the killer called again to speak with Dawn, threatening and mentioning Debra. Police found Debra's body, suspecting she was killed similarly to Shari. Focusing on the letter Shari wrote, police discovered an impression of a phone number and the name Joe on paper above it.